Ladies and gentlemen, Cody West Christian.
Heard his wife cry from the window. She lost her loving man. Years of menthols in black lung turned my good buddy dead. And the union wasn't paying, said there was no evidence that my neighbor died from labor at the company expense. He's a canary in a coal mine that'll never fly again, plucked out of the blue sky to make way for richer men. Takes that old coal king to cut a free bird's wings he'll never sing again. Making pennies on a dollar, what a way to meet an end. I make a living for the family, I got babies on the way. When the shipyard whistle's blowing, it means daddy's getting paid. I ain't never been happy building those war machines, but those checks they keep a-coming, courtesy of the Middle East. I'm a canary in a coal mine that might never fly again, plucked out of the blue sky to make way for richer men. Takes that old war king to cut a free bird's wings I might never sing again. Making pennies on a dollar, what a way to meet an end. I left my babies with the grandma to give Nashville a go. Labels love me, they promised money, all they needed was my soul. Sign a 360 and be on TV, boy you're gonna be a star. I said hell no, I want some control, ain't working for the man no more. I won't be a canary in a coal mine that'll never fly again. I'll stay in the blue sky to make way for honest men. No, there ain't no king gonna cut these wings, I'll sing until I'm dead. Making pennies on a dollar ain't no way to meet an end.
Cody West Christian. What's going on, man? Welcome to the studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Dude, super excited.
Yeah, this is great to get you in here. I've never heard you before, and whoa, dude, you are awesome.
Well, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
We tried to be.
I mean, I knew you were good because, well, you know, the people that linked us up, you know, if. You know, like Marie Claire and whatnot.
Right.
You know, she says somebody's good. I go, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So
I definitely appreciate her, you know, dropping the line on me, man. That was awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, first, actually, real quick, I just want to say thank you to everybody that is tuning in so far. You guys are awesome. Happy New Year. This is dope that we get to start the new year this way with such an awesome performer. So, first things first, where can people find you? Social media-wise, what's the best way to keep track?
Social media-wise, I'm pretty active on the Instagrams, Cody Christian Music on Instagram. It's the same on Facebook, Cody Christian Music. Not quite on the TikToks yet. Might be in the near future.
Right.
People tell me that's a good move.
Probably. TikTok's blown up. You know?
I do technically have a Twitter. I think 3 people follow me. If you want to, that's cool, but I haven't really said anything on there in a very long time. But,
right.
You know, it's there if you want to get tweeted.
All right, so Cody Christian on Instagram, on Facebook.
Well, YouTube too,
And
man.
YouTube.
Cody Christian Music. There is another Cody Christian out there, and I have to preface this like every live show that I do. Like, I'm Cody Christian, not the rapper.
No?
Yeah, there is a rapper out there. He was also an actor. He was on Pretty Little Liars for like half a second. So that's what I'm competing with.
Right on.
I'm sure he's a cool dude, but
All right, and real quick, if anybody wanted to see you live, do you have anything upcoming where people can come check you out?
let's see. Off the top of my head, I know that we'll be in North Carolina, in Greenville, this coming Friday and Saturday, the 7th and 8th. I know we're playing, I think I'm doing a duo thing at Back Bay Brewing in Virginia Beach on the 21st.
Nice.
Yeah, got a gig out in Charles City, but follow me on the socials. That's where I, post all my dates and where I'll be and stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so before we dive into to some of your music here, well, hey, what do you have for us today? Are you doing original stuff? Are you doing covers and mash of both? Like, what's?
Yeah, man. I had a lot of originals ready to go, man. Some new ones that aren't released yet. Some ones that are, and I don't know, man. I might feel a cover in a minute, but
No, I love the originals, and from all the feedback that I get from people, they really like the originals as well, which is interesting because if you play originals at a bar, like 9 out of 10 people hate you,
Well, that's fine, man. I'll shove it down 9 out of 10 people's throats.
There you go. No, but it is funny because typically you find at bars, like, you play an original song,
Yeah.
most people are kind of apathetic. They don't really care all that much. Well, I mean, it might be different if your originals are like, well, anyhow. Let me put it this way, if I play originals, people are apathetic. But the audience here seems to be interested in that in the writing style, so that's something I want to talk about
Absolutely.
a little bit later. But real quick, what's some of your background? Because I know you. We were talking before the show that you're starting to do music full time, which congratulations. That is awesome.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Now, are you from this area? Like, what's?
I'm not from Hampton Roads. I moved down here about 8 years ago, a little more than 8 years ago now, from Powhatan, Virginia, the hometown out west of Richmond. Yeah, man, grew up there. Loved it. Little small town, cool stuff. Moved down here to build some boats and get educated, and grew up playing music in church, and kind of carried that with me when I got here, and met with some dudes, man, and then kind of fell in love with country music, and just kind of going wherever the music goes,
Right on.
Yeah.
Now, are you mostly solo? Do you have a band? Like, what's a dual partner or something like that?
Man, I don't like playing by myself as often as I can, just because I ain't no lead player. So if I'm gonna play for 3 hours, I always love to have at least somebody with me.
Yeah.
To carry some of that weight,
Yeah, dude.
But anytime it's fiscally responsible, I always love to have a full band. I mean, that's the goal.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. If I can afford a 4-piece, 5-piece, like that's what I want to do.
That's awesome.
But being full time now, I do take a lot of solo duo.
Yeah, well, and that's the trick, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of the times those make more sense financially, despite the fact that doing a 3-hour show on your own is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, it's a fine balance too, man. Because I mean, you always want to. If you do like a ticketed show, it's like,
Right.
well, how do you convince somebody to pay money to see you with a full band when they can see you for free for 3 hours in a week?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
that's why you got to that full band experience. You got to make sure it's something different and worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be like you got to put on a real show.
Yeah.
For people, make it a spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working on, man.
Right on, man. Well, I'm looking forward to being able to dive into all of this more in just a little bit. So for you folks at home that are watching, we're going to do a set of some of Cody Christian's music right here, and then we're going to talk a little bit about his songwriting process. We're going to discuss a little bit more of his background and how he came up into music and whatnot, and just see where the conversation takes us. And if you guys have any questions that you want to ask, go ahead and put that into the chat, and we can see about getting some of those questions answered. So without further ado, Mr. Cody Christian.
All right, man. All right, I'm going to play the song called Give Me More. It's off my first EP, 2020. And it goes a little something kind of like this. Overthinking, overdrinking, maybe it's all in my head, yeah. Overstepping, underdressing, I'm in a pretty bad way. So won't you tell me what you got next, tucked up your sleeve? Oh, give me some more, oh, pretty please, as if it wasn't hard enough. Give me more, oh, give me more of that black cloud over my head, more of that weight stacked up on my chest, more of that mess on top of my mess. What you got left, get it over with. My house is a mess and my clothes ain't folded. I don't pay my bills, but I got the money. What is wrong with me? My room stayed dark and my friends are avoided for some reason. Can't help but forfeit all the things that I wanna be. What you got next, tucked up your sleeve? Oh, give me some more, oh, pretty please, as if it wasn't hard enough. Give me more, oh, give me more of that black cloud over my head, more of that weight stacked up on my chest, more of that mess on top of my mess. What you got left, get it over with. Yeah, give me more of that black cloud over my head, more of that weight stacked up on my chest, more of that mess on top of my mess. What you got left, get it over with. All right. Well, yeah, that was that one. You can find that on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. All my buddy's mom's playlist is definitely there. It's everywhere. This next song you cannot find because it ain't released yet, but it will be. It's called Pine Needles, and it's all about smoking weed. But then, like, not smoking weed at the end. Well, we'll get there. It's the third verse. You'll understand. I got high as pine needles, green and on the vine. Deep conversation with a bald eagle, talking about the by and by. When I came down, I swear every eye was staring in that 5 and dime. Boy, what you doing in the grocery store with them bloodshot eyes? I got high as a mountaintop, with my head stuck in the clouds. Ain't no thoughts towards doing chores when you can't even see the ground. When I came down, my woman was pissed that I ain't moved off of the couch. When you're gonna lay off that medicine and be the man that you've been talking about? Hey, well, I got low as a garden mole, digging underneath the ground, getting my fix in the dead of dark, hoping no one came around. I got dug up, I knew it was my last chance to turn this thing around. Got to be the time for me to straighten up and go and make my mama proud. Well, I got straight as a phone pole, 20 feet in the ground, short up by the Bible. I'm walking with Jesus now, so when my buddies come to town and they pass that joint around, I skip my turn and let the next man burn, 'cause I've gone and settled down. I skip my turn and let the next man burn, 'cause I've gone and settled down.
Yeah. Yep. That's the weed song.
I like that song.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're gonna release that on the album that I got coming out whenever the heck I finish it. Which could be sooner or later.
And if you folks want to know when that happens, all you got to do is go over to Cody Christian Music on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Look him up, give him a like, give him a follow, and when that album drops, you'll be the first to know.
That's right. That's right. Well, second, third, or fourth, or whatever, but you'll be there.
Somewhere in that.
You're in that important range. Just know. Just know.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. Well, cool. I'll keep rolling, man. Let's see here. This next song, this is not released either, but it's all about quitting your job, or quitting ladies you got to quit, or quitting another job after that. It's called 2 Week Notice. This will also be on the upcoming record.
Early July morning, slinging hammers and burning rods. Nowhere boy got a job down at the boatyard. 7 years of prime time living, they come and go, breaking my back for Uncle Sam, and the man ain't yet paid off. But I was gigging with my guitar. My friends told me I might get far. So I came up with a plan and I bought a van. But the road dog life can't happen when you're working 9 to 5. So here's my 2-week notice, then I'm bidding you goodbye. After 2 years of loving on my darling, that fire went out. I can't take her with me on the road if I can't have her in my house. There ain't no room for a woman when you're road dogging with the band. Ain't got time for a lady that don't wanna hold my hand. I know that a road ain't a place for loving on a woman you despise. And the van ain't built for comfort with thorn in your side. Know that life ain't much worth living when you're fighting 9 to 5. So here's my 2-week notice, then I'm bidding her goodbye. Now 4 years of half-empty rooms can suck the soul out of a man. I can't tell who's more haggard, the E350 or the band. And the fun runs out when the cash supply goes dry. Life on the road with rock and roll's where you go to die. But I'm gonna tell my children that their old man tried. He took the road less traveled, few survive. But you can't raise a family when you're bleeding 9 to 5. So here's my 2-week notice, then I'm bidding you goodbye.
Yeehaw, man. That was like a 15% true story. I'm sure we'll talk about it later. But they did not get a 2-week notice.
15% true story. I like that.
15% true, man.
Wonder how you come up with that specific number.
Just now. It's probably not accurate. Probably not accurate, but we're trying. Nah, I heard somebody say, I don't know if it was a comedian or something, but they were like, I'm going to give you guys a 2-day notice. Like, I'm quitting today.
Right.
And that's what happened.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, we can get into that later, man.
Yeah, that's... I'm going to make a note of that.
All right.
Definitely come back to that. I want to hear that story.
Well, I mean, it's a pivotal theme in a lot that I got going on these days, but yeah, we'll get there. All right, I'm going to do a song called Revival, and I did this one with my band, Every King and Commoner, back in the day. You can check them out as well, Every King and Commoner, on all social media platforms and streaming platforms. I think they're on Tidal as well. Right? Yeah. Song's called Revival.
I try to find my peace in a bottle, search for love in a brothel. Oh, but I know that joy doesn't last. Yeah, and I know wrong from right. I used to pray day and night. Oh, but I'm falling so far. I need revival. I need revelation, and I need something to ease my troubled mind. I need redemption. I need salvation. And I need someone to save my soul tonight. I know the gospel, baby, but I don't know your gospel. so far away. And my mama raised me right. She taught me to walk in the light. Oh, but that neon sign, it burns so bright. And I need revival, I need revelation, and I need something to ease my troubled mind. And I need redemption, I need salvation, and I need someone to save my soul tonight. I need revival, I need revelation, and I need something to ease my troubled mind. I need redemption, I need salvation. I gotta have someone to save my soul tonight.
Oof. Lost it there for a second.
Oh man, that sounds great.
Well, I appreciate it.
That sounds real good.
Oh, thanks, man.
Now, I'm curious. Have you heard of or possibly met a guy named Scott McMahon?
Can't say I have.
Oh,
My
you
knowledge.
need to talk to that dude. He's got a similar kind of vibe. Like not exactly the same, but definitely there's some crossover in his genre versus yours. His is more like Americana with some country flair to it.
Yeah.
There's also another local band in the area that's worth checking out, the Magic Holler Boys, run by Abe Drinkin. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to meet him yet. He's another good guy that you'd mind.
Man, I've seen his name. I know he plays at the Hilton Tavern.
Yep.
And that's a place that I have. I mean, that's the first place that I played by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. That's a cool spot.
It is, man. That's like one of the gems, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get their start there. It's a real. I mean, they're open to anything, singer songwriter wise. Like, really good spot. Good food too.
Yeah. No, Hilton Tavern's a pretty dope place.
Yeah, man.
I've been there a handful of times, and I've always enjoyed it. And they seem to be very supportive of local music, which is great.
Absolutely.
So shout out to the Hilton Tavern.
For shizzle.
Now, real quick, folks, for anybody that is just tuning in, this is Mr. Cody Christian, and you can find his music. You can follow him on Instagram at Cody Christian Music. You can find him on Facebook, Cody Christian Music, and you can find his music all over the place on Spotify, on YouTube, and the various streaming platforms. So be sure to go over, give him a like, give him a follow, subscribe on YouTube, check out his work. He's got an album coming out that is to be announced. But if you want to be in the know, the best way to do that is to stalk him on social media.
That's right. Stalk away. It's the best kind of stalking you can do, man. You don't even get in trouble for it.
I know. It's like we put an invitation out there now.
It's encouraged, actually. Like, get your friends to stalk it.
Yeah.
A little stalk party. Yeah. All right, I'm going to play this song here. This is probably my favorite one to play live, called Saints of Appalachia. I wrote this one right after I watched this documentary called The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. And it's all about that kind of stuff.
Fat cat Yankees came down with cash in hand, paid in cold script while sucking dry the land. Black lung ain't an if, but it's a when. Hard to make it out when Papa meets his early end. And the cold king scheme underneath that golden dome. Oh, Charleston, won't you let my people go? We're the saints of Appalachia, wild off whiskey and stoned and broke. We got big brothers booting against our throats, high on codeine, mining coal. We never asked for help, and not from anybody else. Babies come out pining for the pills, oxycodone flavored mother's milk. Addictions all they pass down in their wills. Yeah, you start out low when you're born up in the hills. And the kingpin sling underneath that golden dome. Oh, Charleston, won't you let my people go? We're the saints of Appalachia, wild off whiskey and stoned and broke. We got big farmers booting against our throats, high on codeine, mining coal. We never asked for help, and not from anybody else. Greed's what takes a man that was wild and free, binds him by his hands, brings him to his knees. He buys the upper hand with his blood money, made off the backs of the poor and enslaved. But the slaves will have their say, and the slaves will have their day. Wild off whiskey and stoned and broke. We got big farmers booting against our throats, high on codeine, mining coal. We never asked for help, not from anybody else. Yeah. I know.
Man, I'm real excited to talk about your songwriting.
Yeah, dude.
Because
hopefully I can make it worth it for you.
yeah, dude, you've got some good material.
Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's you like you're the real deal. You've got some real good material. I'm excited to see where it takes you.
Thanks, man.
Now, have you been out to Nashville at all?
I've been, a few times.
Okay.
A few times. I ain't lived there or nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Oh. Well, man, each time it was a little different. One time it was like this CCM, like singer-songwriter conference/contest thing, and I mean it was cool. That was my first experience there. Saw Broadway. Wasn't the world's biggest fan, but it was all right. It was all right.
Right.
Went back there a few years after that to do some voice auditioning type things. So that was an experience. Went back there another time for more business type stuff, and the business type stuff there was, it didn't work out. You know, It didn't work out for me. I didn't like it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's what I've heard about Nashville. It's very hit or miss.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think there's a lot of value to being there, you know, and I mean, the community, like the business is right there.
Right.
Everything is just, you know, in walking distance almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of value to that, but I don't vibe with the whole like you have to go to Nashville to make a career doing music, you know.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate at all.
No.
You know, I think there's a lot of opportunities outside of Nashville. And I mean, honestly, in particular, here in Virginia Beach, there's a lot of amazing music that is happening out here now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that has been for a long time, but you know, there's a lot of younger up and comers that are trying to make things happen out here, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah,
it really is. Like, there's a lot of people that are getting their stuff. I'll put it that way. Their stuff together.
Right. You ain't wrong.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, man. Like, I think if you're gonna, you know, tour the world or America, or like, you know, do something really substantial, like you're probably gonna have to go through there, do some business. I don't think you gotta live in the city, you know.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, man, the city is expensive, dude.
Oh, I believe it.
It's expensive.
I believe it.
Everybody's got mullets now. And
Is that really a thing?
hats. Oh yeah, dude.
Because I've been hearing about it, but I haven't quite seen it yet.
Oh, I seen it. I went back to the hometown a few days ago in Powhatan, and it's like maybe not as much like, you know, my age group, like the, you know, late 20s, early 30s, but like these people graduating high school now, man, an overwhelming amount of mullets.
Really?
I like to think that I saw it coming, and I tried to tell people, man, as soon as I started seeing people wearing bell bottoms, I was like, fashion goes full circle, man. I was like, all right, well, mullets next.
Right.
Then Morgan Wallen comes along, and
yeah,
man, there's a lot of mullets around.
Dang.
I'm for it, you know.
Yeah.
Winter month's coming up, man. You got to keep that neck warm, you know.
Well, I don't imagine you have that problem.
Nah, man. My face don't get too cold. Not a problem I have. Not a problem I had. Not for a couple of years.
All right, so let's see. If my count is correct, we have one more song, or was that 7, or was that 6?
What was that, man? It came out the gate. It was something like that.
Well,
something like that. I think I want to do a little cover song.
Yeah, let's do it. And then I got some questions for you.
Heck yeah.
And then, folks, stick around because we're going to be doing a final song at the end as well. So stick around for this this interview here. And again, we've got Mr. Cody Christian. You can find him at Cody Christian Music on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube if you want to check out what he's got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this song is called Digging Holes. It's written by a guy named Brent Cobb. You ought to check him out. This song's all about digging holes.
Well, I ought to be working for a coal mine, neck deep in black lung soot, swinging a pick at that mountainside, halfway to China. I think I would sit right in where the sun don't shine. I'm better off alone. Yeah, I ought to be working for a coal mine. Lord knows I'm good at digging holes. Well, I ought to be drilling for that black gold, swimming in that Texas tea. I can make a killing all on my own, selling my misfortune to a family. And when I hit rock bottom, the deeper down I go. Yeah, I ought to be drilling for that black gold. Lord knows I'm good at digging holes. Well, I ought to be working for the railroad, sweat pouring off my back, hauling away a heavy load. It's a far cry from heaven, down a cold steel track, and I can't take her with me. She's better off without. Yeah, I ought to be working for the railroad. Lord knows I'm good at leaving town. And when it comes to love, I ain't got a clue what this heart of mine is supposed to do. It tears me up inside what I put her through, but she won't let go. Well, I ought to make my living in a graveyard, over my head in dirt. If I had a shovel, I'd bury this heart 6 feet down. And my last words would be, I never meant to hurt you. I'm better off a ghost. Yeah, I ought to make my living in a graveyard. Lord knows I'm good at digging holes. Well, I ought to make my living in a graveyard. Lord knows I'm good at digging holes. Digging holes.
That was great. All right, so now for the interrogation.
All right, man.
All right, if we could start with your social, you know, all of that good stuff. You know, mother's maiden name. No, but let's take it back a little bit. So let's talk about how you first. Like, when did you first pick up a guitar? Start there.
All right.
That's always a good place.
Yeah, man. Well, my granddad, he didn't play as much, but anytime I'd go to his house, man, he had guitars. You know, he was a music lover.
Right.
Vinyl guitars laying around. So I always thought that was cool. Never picked one up though. I played a bunch of sports growing up, football, baseball. That was my thing. But I'm pretty injury prone. So in my junior high years, I fractured my pelvis.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
I had to couldn't play no games anymore. So I was sitting on a donut. I was like, man, I got to do something because I am bored.
Dang.
You know. And I was like, well, you know, 8th grade. You know, you start. I'm like, hey, man, look at that girl over there. And it's like, well, what would make this easier? Man, if I was good at guitar or something. So I was like, all right, I need a hobby, and I also need a new technique to pick up chicks. So
Right.
that's when I started learning.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah, man.
Good motivation right there.
Yeah, my youth pastor at the church I grew up in, he taught me everything and let me be in his band. So, you know, like a 8th grade or something, I was getting an opportunity to go like Cincinnati, Ohio, and West Virginia. Like, I mean, like those were literally the only 2 places. But
Yeah, no, but still.
yeah, man, to go and like play music, like,
Yeah.
it was just super cool, you know. And so, yeah, playing there and playing in churches and stuff is how I got my start.
That's awesome. So when was there like a defining moment where you realized, okay, this is more than a hobby. This is something I really enjoy. I'm either good at it or I'm getting good at it, and I wanna make this a priority.
Man, I like growing up in the church and stuff. You know, like leaving high school and moving down to Hampton Roads, there were opportunities to be like a worship leader and make money doing that. But it wasn't something that I ever really wanted to do. Like, that wasn't a career move for me.
Right.
It was just cool, man. But I met my band through doing that, and I think, because I'll never forget it. There was a lady in my church one time that told me, like, after the service and everything, she's like, "Oh, you did such a beautiful job. Y'all were so good today." And I didn't even play. Like, I didn't even play that day.
Really?
Yeah. So it was hard, man. Like, growing up, like, you know, you hear people tell you, like, "Hey, man, you know, you're all right. You're good." But it's like, it's hard to believe it, because there's also those people that'll tell you you're awesome.
Yeah.
That, you know, just to make you feel good, and they had no idea.
Right.
Because I also knew some people that weren't good, that they were like, "Man, that was awesome." You're like, I don't think that was good, man.
Yeah.
But when I got with the band and started playing shows, and people like started buying shirts, and, you know, we started to see people again, it's like, all right, man, maybe this is real, you know?
Yep.
Maybe there's something to it. And it just kept getting more real, and it kept getting more fun. And, you know, a real job just kept getting less fun. So, yeah, man. And you know, I found out that, all right, this is a pretty viable outlet. I
Yeah.
guess, you know.
Wow. Now, when it comes to songwriting, when did you first dabble with that?
So the first song that I ever wrote, maybe like 6 years ago,
Okay.
something like that. Real churchy song, worshipy one. And a lot of that came from just like working in the shipyard, you know, like working like a grinder all day. So, you know, you're just by yourself and just,
Right.
so, you know, you got to hum things and come up with stuff. And that's kind of how it started, I guess.
I have never heard of that process before. I've heard of a process by which band members get kidnapped by another band member's brother. It's a whole thing. It's fun. I've never heard of a process of somebody, you know, writing songs while they're working in a shipyard.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, when you're alone with your thoughts and work,
Yeah.
like monotonous work, it's like, what are you gonna do? So, you know, you're just coming up with melodies and stuff, just.
Ah, that's cool. That's cool. That's why I love that question in particular, because everybody, I mean, some people have like an answer that you kind of expect, but everybody's a little bit different. But then you get the ones that are, you know, more out of left field. Like one dude was saying, or one person that I interviewed was saying that they, you know, they write in their car while they're driving.
Yeah.
You know, just like humming along, tapping on the steering wheel. And that's where they get their ideas.
Yeah.
You know, or in the case of another local band, the Ember Sound, the singer wakes up from a nap, goes, "Oh, I got a song idea," and then his brother runs out and goes and corrals all the other band members and brings them back, you know, to the spot where they can put it all together.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's different, man. Like every song for me, I think, is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I don't have a formula, man. I've never been like all right, I'm gonna sit down for an hour today and just write a song.
Right.
Like I've tried. It's never worked out for me. So
Yep.
sometimes, you know, it'd be like working monotonous work, just coming up with melodies, or maybe you're in the shower and you just think of a line.
Yeah.
But like to the car thing, a lot of that, like other times I'll just play guitar, you know, and like come up with a riff, and I'll, you know, do like a little voice memo thing on it.
Yeah.
And you just play it a billion times and just try to come up with things that match it.
So when that spark of inspiration hits and you're like, "Ooh, I've got something," actually, you know, especially when you're working, how do you maintain that? Like, how do you remember that to be able to keep it so that when you go, you know, when you get home and you have an opportunity to pick up the guitar, hey, how are you managing that? Because that creative spark is fleeting. Like that can go as soon as it arrives in a lot of instances.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the benefits of being alive right now. You know, is you got your cell phone right there, and you can just click a button and you can say whatever you need.
Yeah.
You know? You can sing whatever melody, or you can type out whatever lyrics. I mean, yeah, that's how I keep it. Because, yeah, I mean, there have been times where if you don't do that, you lose it. And you're like, man, I might have had a cool song, and now it's gone.
Yep.
Forever.
So was there, kind of a follow-up question, was there a moment when you realized that you were good at songwriting? That you were like, oh, this is something, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd ever just, hey, I'm good at this. I don't like doing that. But
right.
I did place like second, or it might have been third place at some songwriters conference the first time I went to Nashville.
Oh, wow.
You know, and just having music like out there on streaming platforms and knowing that people listen to it. It's like, well, I mean, I guess it's good enough for some people.
I'd say your songwriting's pretty good.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've definitely, you don't sound like somebody that's trying to do country. You just sound like, you know, a country Americana artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's that, like, it's like a weird, fine psychological line where you look at somebody that plays music and you go like, oh, they're almost there. And then when you see somebody like on TV or like Chris Stapleton, like you almost don't even view them as like a person anymore. It's just like, oh, they're like an artist. You know, it's like, it's kind of hard to describe, but I'd say you fit more into that category where it's like you've got an image, you've got a sound, you're polished, your writing's good, your playing's good, like everything's solid. You know, it's like really, it's all there.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, it's a process finding your lane I guess, like, you know, I've been with my band Every King Commoner probably 6 years now, and it's like a hodgepodge of like pop and rock. I mean, it's four dudes with totally different backgrounds. So anything that I bring is gonna, the end product is gonna be something I would have never come up with myself.
Right.
Which is super cool. But I mean, I did find, you know, like the country music is a pretty recent development in my life as a brand. Because growing up, I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, man, didn't like it. You know, it's I don't want to call out specific bands and names that I definitely do not like, but I mean they're out there.
Right.
So, you know, growing up hearing country music on the radio, I was like, I don't like that.
Right.
But I also didn't know that there was a whole other like world that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And I saw Chris Stapleton actually doing that song with Justin Timberlake on some
Tennessee
musical.
Whiskey.
Yeah,
That
I'd never heard that, and I was like, "Who the heck is this dude?" Like, this dude sounds really good, and so I listened to his music. I was like, "Man, this is really cool."
Yeah.
And so he got me into, you know, you go down that rabbit hole of him, and that got me into like Sturgill Simpson,
Right.
Tyler Childers, who's probably my biggest influence, I would say, as far as like how you can write a song,
Yeah.
and how you can build around it. And, you know, that got me into this whole like Appalachia kind of, like a lot of my favorite music comes out of Kentucky, West Virginia, Texas now. Like a lot of cool stuff comes out of there.
Dude, that's awesome. Those are some good influences to have.
Well, dude, I think anybody that's doing anything that's remotely country, that's like under the age of 30, is influenced by those dudes. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard not to, because they're so dang good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, I mean they figured out how to cut through the noise,
Yeah.
as it were, in a lot of ways.
and it's also like this movement of, you know, they're not on the radio.
Right.
I mean, Chris Stapleton is,
Right.
but like Childers, Sturgill Simpson, like they found a way to just do their thing and, you know, play it.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah.
And people tell their friends, and like just a really like organic thing, you know. So they'll sell out an arena and the radio still won't play them. Like,
Which is wild.
well, I mean, it's the radio's loss, man. But I mean, they've got their money, you know,
Yeah.
they've got their brand, and maybe they come around, maybe they don't. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, the music business as a whole it's interesting, man. It's like, it's not, on the one hand, it's fairly simple, but on the other, it's one of those weird catch-22s, because it's like, it's kind of simple in terms of like what the actual steps are, right? It's basically, the way that I look at it, it's like starting a car company, right? So a song is a product, right? You have to develop it. It has to be good. People, you know, it's got to have a certain level of polish, right? You can't sell a car that just starts falling apart as soon as it, you know, it's like it's got to be a professional product.
Right.
And then it's really just about marketing. What kind of person likes this kind of car, right? What kind of people like this kind of song? And so knowing those steps, it's like, okay, it's helpful. And, you know, it's relatively simple. But then there's the part of it like, okay, you actually have to write a good song, and then you have to get it produced and recorded well, and it's, you know, all of that gets really complicated. But then also the kind of deals where it's like, yeah, how do you fill a stadium, but a radio station's like, nah, it's not, we don't want to put that out there. How does that make sense? You know?
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's a weird dynamic, the music industry.
It is, man. And I think, just like everything, man, there's so many different ways to do things now.
Yeah.
Like 15 years ago, it's like, yeah, if you want to make a career doing music, you have to do this, and this. But like, radio's not the only answer, man. Like,
Yeah.
I know more people that don't listen to the radio than do.
Oh, dude, for sure,
And-
dude. Radio's going out the window.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, and then the Nashville model, at least from what I've seen as a guy that hasn't lived there or successfully, you know, created a product out of there. In my experience, it was like, hey, you know, you got great songs, man. You can be international, dude. People gonna love this. Like, we're
Right.
gonna put you in this room that Johnny Cash recorded in. We're gonna give you Hank Williams Jr.'s guitar player and like the bass player for Bruce Springsteen and, you know,
Right.
all this stuff. And it's like, and it's only $80,000. And I was like, all right, cool, man. Like, who's paying for that?
Yeah, let me write you a check
like,
real quick.
Like you. I was like, oh, all right. So what comes with that? Like, you know, is that $80,000 for a record and the legs, like the marketing, the publishing, and all that? It's like, well, no, but it makes getting that a lot easier if you've got these guys, you know, all these dudes on the resume. I was like, man, it's like 80 grand for an album, but you've got dudes like Co Wetzel, Zach Bryan that are blowing up, selling out any room that they want to. And if you listen to their recordings, man, not great.
Really?
Not great. They're like garage band, like,
Oh.
so it's like, dude, and you know, these things
No
are going
way.
gold and platinum. They're getting gigs at the Opry and stuff. You know, it's like, dude, you don't have to have that Nashville production kind of thing. Like, you have to write really good songs, and you have to get people to hear them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting people to hear them is that's a whole.
Yeah,
ain't figured that out yet. But.
Winning the audience. I mean, even just identifying the audience. Who is the audience, right?
Yeah.
The way that I look at it is always the first step, right? And one of the ways that I would assess that is to look at, okay, what are artists that have a similar vibe or sound or something like that, right?
Right.
And then looking at who makes up, like, what demographic is their audience, right? Look at those people. What are they into? Right, and then you can use some of the more clever social media tools to target those people, because you know there's going to be crossover between them and, say, like Chris Stapleton, whoever, right? It's like, oh, those are the fans I want to go after.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tricky. It's like, how do you know who wants to listen to your music? How do you find that audience? How do you win them over?
Right.
When you're a relative nobody to to a lot of people, it's like, okay, how do I get a chance to win this person over and make them a fan? You know?
Yeah, I mean, and for me, like, the most ideal thing that I could ever do is like get on a tour or something with somebody that I think, like, all right, if they like that music, they might like mine.
Right.
And even opening up for certain bands that were maybe not even like totally in the same lane, but like close enough.
Right.
I mean, those are always like my best shows, man. Like, you sell the most shirts, you get, and you see those people again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how else do you get to that point? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. If there's a really, smooth up and coming person that wants to be up in the management business, I have a lot that I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So
yeah, dude, it's
hit me up.
It's a tricky business.
Yeah.
It's a tricky business.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick, I want to go back in time a little bit and talk about your back in time isn't like 30 minutes ago when we mentioned that job and the whole notice and all that. So you just started your career as a full-time musician. You're just like, listen, job, screw you, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you're doing it full time. So let's dive into that story a little bit.
Yeah, man. As of December 9th, I mean, I didn't have another job, so I am, I guess, full time in the music biz, so they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I worked there for 8 years, and I don't even know how I really ended up there, but it was shipbuilding, and they'd pay for me to get their little degree. And I was like, well, that seems like a good idea, because I was in college for a little bit, spent a lot of money, figuring out like, oh wait, this isn't what I want to do. And then it comes time for like the next semester, and it's like, all right, give us 12 grand, and you're taking this art class and this Religions of the East class, and it's like, what?
Yeah,
I got to pay how much money for you to tell me what I want to do?
Yep.
What is that, man?
Yeah.
So I got into the shipyard kind of thing, and dude, it's not a bad gig. Like, it was cool, man. They were formidable years. But working a job like that, like, welding and cutting and burning stuff, I mean, it's cool. At the end of every day, you feel like you did something.
Yeah.
But it also makes you appreciate playing music a lot more.
Right.
But it gives you content too, man. I don't regret the years. But towards the end there, it just started getting out of hand, man. Just started getting out of hand. And basically what it came down to was they were like, hey, you got to shave your beard.
Oh.
Yeah, man. And I had just come out with like merchandise. It's like it's got my face and my beard on it.
Yeah.
Like, I got so many
It's
shirts.
a big part of your look.
Yeah, I got so many shirts and stuff with my face on it. And they're like, hey, you got to shave your beard for reasons that I thought were really dumb.
Yeah.
You know? And honestly, it didn't have to happen. So the first time they're like, hey, you got to do this today. And I was like, no. And so the second time they're like, hey, you got to do this today. And I was like, no. And then they're like, well, if you don't do this again, you're fired. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So then the third time came around. It's like, hey, you got to shave today. I was like, I quit. And I wrote this resignation letter that was also like an album announcement.
Wow.
To the company, sent it out to everybody. Probably about 20,000 people, I think, got it.
That's great.
Yeah, man, and it doubled my social media following, like,
dude,
in a day. So
that was
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, man, and I've seen a lot of these people at shows and stuff, like, just because they wanted me to shave my beard, and like, I mean, I'm also in a position where like I don't have a wife, I don't have kids or anything, so. I could quit a job.
Right, yeah, you can take that risk.
Yeah, man, and 8 years, I didn't want to do it forever, and it just started they started encroaching too much into my personal life.
Yeah.
It got to, like, shave your face. And I was like, well, why don't you shave your eyebrows? Well, why would I have to shave my eyebrows? Be like, well, you'd look ridiculous, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'd look ridiculous if I shaved this. Like, this has been my face for a long time. Like, it's not changing.
Right, right.
Also, it's like, no, it's December. It's really cold outside.
Yeah.
It's really poor timing. Like, no, man, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So it just made a lot of sense. And I'd been I'd been looking for a reason to leave. Honestly, like, because with music, I'd come to the conclusion, because I'd been playing 5-6 years, and still having the dream of like, yeah, man, like it'd be super cool to be able to tour around and make a living doing this. But the way that I was going at it wasn't I figured out that nobody's going to come to you with a sweet deal. So yeah, nobody's going to come to you and be like, hey man, here's your record label, you're going on tour Monday, like,
right,
we're going to put you on payroll, this is how much money you get, you're starting here so you can quit your job this day. I was like, well, all right, well, that's not going to happen.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's one of them, it's the jumping off thing, that everybody talks about. You gotta jump or not.
Yep.
So I was like, I mean, I could still be there. I'd have a little bit of facial growth by now, but it wouldn't be cool. And yeah, man, I just wasn't happy. And I was like, if I'm ever going to do anything, I guess I got to do it now, and it ain't going to come to me.
I love that. That's a great story, and for any musicians out there, like, go back and listen to that again. Like, pay attention. I think that's a great story in a lot of regards, because you make a good point, which is this thing isn't gonna, it's not gonna come to you. You have to go and get it. And for opportunities like what you're talking about, like, yeah, those are exceptionally rare. But B, you're more likely to get an opportunity if you've already put in the groundwork, if you've already built an audience, if you've already done all these things, and you're starting to make a splash. That's when somebody might realistically notice and go, oh, we can make money off of this guy. All he needs is our connections and our, well, really, yeah, just the connections in the music industry to, like, push all this stuff.
Right.
A great example was Skrillex, actually.
Okay.
And he's an EDM producer, and Deadmau5, another big EDM producer. Well, Skrillex went to one of his shows, and he bought a backstage pass, and he goes up to Deadmau5, and he's just like, hey, man, here's my whole album on a thumb drive, right?
Right.
And he's got, like, photos and video and all of this stuff. And so Deadmau5 is like, okay, and he actually went and listened to it, and it all sounded really good. It was mixed well, it was mastered well, the whole thing. And he's like, okay, so clearly, like, you figured out, like, you've got a product, it's professional, you have a team. From Deadmau5's point of view, he was saying, you know, when he came to me and brought me all this stuff, I realized, like, okay, I don't have to do anything other than put this guy in front of an audience and see if the audience bites and see if you can win the audience.
Right.
You know, and for that, I'm going to get a fairly big chunk, at least off the first album. Now Skrillex is bigger than he is, you know, but it was creating that opportunity by putting in the work ahead of time to be like, hey, man, you don't have to do, like, you don't have to teach me how to do anything. You don't have to hire anybody on my behalf. You don't have to do any work. You just have to, you know, let me borrow your connections within the industry, and I'll make it happen, and you get to sit back and make some money. And if it turns out that no money's made, you didn't really lose anything, you know? So from the point of a label, they look at that and they go, okay, that's not a bad deal, you know? But it's tough to even get there as an artist. Like, okay, you have to know videographers, you have to know photographers, you have to know artists. You have to put all that stuff together to build your own team.
Yeah, it takes a team, man. I don't.
Yep.
If you're a person that can do it yourself, more power to you, man. But I don't think I'm that guy.
Yeah, dude, trying to do it all 100% on your own it's really not realistic.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you start finding that team. That's when it comes together. And then, you know, at that point, the interesting thing about the label too is a lot of musicians seem to think that if you get signed to a label, all of a sudden you're going to be successful, right? Well, labels really only make they make, I think, 90% of the money off 10% of the artists that they signed. The rest of the artists that they sign are usually, they're taking a loss.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, even if they're putting a ton of money into marketing you, you still have to win the audience, right?
Right.
So if you're not, if whatever it is that you're doing isn't winning the audience, there's nothing, you know, all the money in the world can really do at that point. So it's I think one of those things where if you assemble a team and learn how to self-publish all your stuff, if you can figure out the winning the audience part, then there's really a lot you can do to become successful without the backing of a major label, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting business, and there are a lot of ways to make it, but you're also competing with a ton of just, I mean, man, I see people releasing music that's just like, not to be disparaging, but like overall it's just kind of garbage. You know, they bought like a $30 interface, and I was guilty of this too. So I'm calling myself out here as well.
Yeah.
You know, my younger self, where I'd, you know, buy something really cheap. It would sound super thin and tinny and just like crap, and I'd be like, I'm trying to do this, come support me, and people are like, no, like, it sucks, I don't want to do that.
Good luck.
Yeah, you know, but it was those moments where it's like, okay, I can't just put stuff out there. It has to be like good.
Yeah.
You know, so how do I make it good?
Yeah. I mean, you definitely, you don't want quality to suffer.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing if it ain't like, you know, the crispest Nashville crispy, you know, polished, super pretty, but it's still got to be good.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think the better the packaging of a song, right? So like the whole aesthetic, like sound of the song and that polish, I think the better that is, the higher chance you have of people actually listening to it and enjoying it, because there's like a familiarity to the level of professionalism. But at the same time, that's also, there are exceptions to that, right? I've seen a couple things now that started out as like TikToks, and then I think it was like the Island Boys thing, and they turned it into a music video, and it was just, it was garbage.
Yeah.
Like absolute garbage. I mean, everything was like way over distorted. There was, the whole production quality was just like crap. It was like, who did this?
Yeah.
You know? Of course, it's still got, you know, tens of millions of views or something like that, so what do I know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, that's, you know, that's the thing, dude. You can you can spend all the money in the world on something, it can sound awesome, really clean, really crisp, but like, it can not be great, or it can sound like, you know, the same 14 songs that are already on the radio.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll take one of the same songs and they'll just be like, hey, here's the new same thing.
So I guess that's a good question to ask you then. What do you think makes a good song?
Well, I mean, who am I to say that, you know, some song with 100 million streams isn't good?
Well,
you know, hey, somebody told me one time that, like, they said at the end of the day, vanilla is still the highest selling ice cream in the world.
oof.
Which is so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to think that. I mean, look, I'll take vanilla every now and then, man. Vanilla's good, you know.
Yeah.
I like some vanilla here and there, but you know, I prefer some Rocky Roads, you know, some of them cookies and creams and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like the stuff that I like the most these days, it's really good writing and storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I listen to music, it might be like one line that I'm like, wait, what did he just say? Like that was such a clever line, and then that really draws me in. Be like, I got to listen to this whole song again. Be like, what is this person actually saying? And it's like, okay, that is a really cool, that's a really cool thing, and it's not, you know, you listen to the radio and it's a lot of it's pretty much similar. I mean, it's like, you know, we're going to sing about having a good time or loving a girl or not loving a girl, or if you're a lady, not liking it, or, you know, whatever.
Right.
So they're just different things, man. Like that, and then having a really good soundscape that supports that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be a good song, I mean, I think you got to have good melody, good music, and good lyrics, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and some people can have a really, really cool, unique voice, and sometimes that can carry you. Sometimes you can just have really good lyrics, and that can carry you. Sometimes some people got it all. You know, but I like, and all the songs that I like, they're at least hitting pretty big on those categories.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're talking about influences like, you know, Childers and
yeah, well, like, dude, Childers has one of the most ridiculous songs ever written. Like, but it's the most beautiful way to write a song about, like, just pleasuring yourself in a hotel room. It's like, it's artistry, man. Like, there's, you know, that's talent to me. Like,
yeah.
to take something that's like, I don't know, taboo or crude or whatever, but make it like an actual love song that you're like, you know what, man, if that were my dude and they said that to me, I'd probably melt. You know, that's like, like you know,
Yeah.
that's talent.
That's funny. That's funny. I don't know if I'm familiar with that song. I'm gonna have to check that out.
The song's called "Ever Loving Hand." You can. I mean, it's a good love song, man. I think
That's great. That's great. I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But I mean, also like that ability to take, you know, just everyday life, man.
Yeah.
And make it relatable. You know, because I think a lot of people can relate to. All right, yeah, man, I want to go to a bonfire and drink some beers, or I want to fall in love. But yeah, I think a lot of the mainstream stuff shies away from, like, you know, real things like, you know, the pain and why you feel it and how you feel it.
Right.
Like, that kind of stuff, you know. It's not always happy, but life's not always happy, you know. And I think a lot of people appreciate, you know, like the real stuff, the raw stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would very much agree on that front. You know, I think where people, like songwriters in general, get tripped up is in the delivery, right? So, like, one of the things that I've been working on just in my own songwriting is figuring out, okay, how can I tell a story but make it relatable so that it's not so specific, or there's nothing in there that is so specific that forces the listener's mind to try to relate to a situation, you know, my situation that they know nothing about. I want to make it open enough where there's a general story and they may not have experienced it, or they may have experienced something like that, but either way, they relate to it. Right. I think that is where, like, that when you get that delivery right, it's like, okay, now I've got a good song because this is something that is personal to me, but it's relatable to you.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter what your life experience is at that point, because there's something about it in whatever that, like, the totality of the song is that just it hits.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. Yeah, man. For me, I mean, too, like, I think what really got me into appreciating lyrics and good songs is coming up in the church. Like the songs that you hear even on like Christian radio or played in church, they're real basic, man, just real rounded. Like, and I never understood why in Christian music, like, it's, you know, like when they talk about sin or something, to be like, well, there was a black cloud. Right. And that's how we refer to sin. But if you're like, yeah, I was addicted to heroin, like, you can't say that. Right. It's like, well, why not, though? Yeah. Like, because that's what's actually happening. Yeah. Like, you know, why be vague, you know? And there were a few, you know, like, artists in that sector that you know, were raw and just really, like, said what was actually happening instead of, like, well, you know, let's mask it for the soccer moms.
Right.
Which,
yeah.
I mean, I also understand, like, you know, everybody's got their lane, but like, if you're staying broad and vanilla, like, you're just neglecting so much.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that is true. That is true.
And like, you know, you like, I would think a lot of radio is more of that, like, you know, more basic, like, relatable to the masses. But like, there's a whole other, you know.
Yeah, there's a whole audience.
People that are like
yeah, there's an entirely different audience out there.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's catching on real big. You know, it's why dudes like Childers and Sturgill are selling out arenas. You know, obviously there's something there. Clearly. Obviously people listen. You know.
Yeah, they want to see it. They want to hear it.
They're on that Spotify. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's next for you. So now you've gone full steam ahead into music, you know, and I would imagine, because I have a similar start where I quit my job and just went at it, and I remember having a lot of motivation of like, okay, this has to work, right. You know, because, you know, I just quit my job. Like, there's no this doesn't work anymore. It's like it's kind of a do or die kind of a feeling, and I'm wondering, like, is that where you're at? Did that, like, do you have that sense of a motivation where it's like, all right, this, like, we're doing this is for real and it's gonna happen?
Man, it's, you know, I wrote a lot of these songs. Like, I mean, I wrote songs about quitting before I quit. You know. Yeah. I don't know, man. Some things just kind of happen like that. But now that I'm out, you know, the goal would be just be happy, man. Make a living playing music, man, wherever I can, and ideally in a band setting. Right. So right now, no, it doesn't look like that. It's looking like, all right, 3-4 nights a week I'm playing at a restaurant or a brewery or something by myself or a duo, and we're playing 3 hours, and it might be 40% originals, 60% covers. You know, it looks like playing weddings, you know, cocktail hours and private parties. Right. So it's, man, I'm looking forward to that, but I also know that that's not how I want it to be for, I don't know how long I'll enjoy that. Right. Yeah. You know, because like it's different, man. Like playing, in my experience, like the coolest shows that I've ever done are also the ones that I've made the least amount of money in. Yeah. Like I've made a lot more money playing in front of 17 people than I did in front of 800. Like, which is weird. Yeah, it is weird. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, if it's a full band, you know, opening up for a big act that's going to sell out a venue, like, those are the nights that, like, you're like, man, I want to do this. Yeah. Like, every other night in a different city, you know. Just, I mean, that's the goal. But, I mean, that's how it is, man. I mean, I think when you're at this phase or whatever, it's, you know, one night it could be 8 people, the next night it could be 800. Yeah. And, you know, it's just doing it, man. And those people that are, those 8 people that are there, like, they're there. Yeah. Know, they're sticking around. Like, and maybe they're into it, maybe they're not. But, like, if they're into it, like, those are the people that are, like, you know, buying your cheeseburgers, you know, and your diapers and toilet paper and stuff. Like that 8 person is no more important than, you know, one of those 800 or whatever. Right. Like every room you're in is an opportunity. So that's where I'm at. Yeah. And it's grateful, man. Like these private events, you know, they're not sexy, but somebody thinks enough of me that they want to pay me money to play music in front of them and their friends. Like, yeah, it's not as cool as playing in front of, you know, fog machines and lights and amplifiers, but it's like, nah, these people care about me, like, and these are the people that 5 years from now, if I get to do that really cool stuff, it's because, you know, these people invested in me and liked me and, you know, continued to buy my albums and shirts and koozies or whatever you sell, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where we're at. Like, it ain't sexy, but hopefully it does become, you know, a little bit more risque, you know what I mean?
Well, it seems like you're moving in the right direction. You know, you hit the ground running. Like, it seems like you're getting bookings, which is awesome, and you've got an album in the works, which is awesome. You know, so you've got merchandise. It seems like you got a lot figured out, and you're kind of ready to capitalize on these opportunities.
Yeah, like, I mean, as soon as COVID hit, you know, with my other band, Every King and Commoner, it just became impossible for us to meet.
Right.
Just, I mean, because COVID, man, everybody handles that a different way, and we just couldn't meet. It wasn't. We just couldn't do it.
Right.
And there were certain venues or bars and restaurants around that did whatever they could, you know. But there were a lot of musicians that I think took a step back. And for me, I was like, well, I'm getting restless, man, because I can't do anything with them. Like, I don't want to just go to work and then, well, what do I do now? Like,
Right.
So, I mean, I think I was able to kind of slide in where a lot of people step back and be like, hey, man, if this bar and restaurant's having live music with these COVID restrictions, like, if you guys are open, man, I'll play, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, they were paying less than they usually do because of COVID and stuff, but it's like, well, I'm just starting out, so.
Right.
You know, I still have my job. Like, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I've been doing a whole lot this past year. You know, it just gave me a lot of time to write things my own way, I guess, and figure out what kind of product I can come out with, I guess, by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. A lot of musicians, I don't know if they do that kind of an introspective, you know, and take advantage of an opportunity like that. So that's huge that you saw the writing on the wall and you're like, oh, this is a way to get into this, you know, and develop yourself as an artist so that as this stuff, you know, starts to die down, if it ever does, you know, that you've got something, you know, like you didn't just go like, oh, you know, music's like nobody can perform anywhere and I might as well just stop because COVID ended it all. You're like,
nah, that's when I did most of the groundwork, you know, of building, I guess, a little brand.
Yeah.
And figuring it out, man. And I mean, that's another thing too. Like, if you got to play for 3 hours, like, what are you going to play?
Yeah.
So my philosophy was, all right, I'm gonna play my music, all my original stuff. You know, I don't care. If they don't like it, they won't invite me back. There may have been a few that have done that. And for the rest of the time, it's like, okay, I can play Sweet Carolina Wagon Wheel,
Right.
You know, and I mean, that's fine, but it's like everybody does that.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I want to make a career, you know, doing Cody Christian's music, like my music, you know, if somebody really wants to hear a Tennessee Whiskey or Wagon Wheel, like, that's cool, man, and they might give me some money, you know, throw some money in the tip bucket. But those people probably aren't the people that are gonna follow you around when you do a live show with a full band, or they're probably not gonna buy your album. But if I'm playing stuff that I know that I like, that I think is going to complement my original stuff, you know, I might not get the whole crowd. Like, in a room full of 80 people, like, maybe 10 people are like, yo, did this dude just play a Zach Bryan song? You know? And the other 70 people might be like, I really wish that he'd play some Tom Petty right now.
Right.
But it's those 10 people that are like, hey, man, he just played this song and nobody else plays that I really like. And I was like, yeah, I like that song too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and those are the people that are, hey, man, this dude's doing some cool stuff.
There
like,
you go.
Like, we got to see this guy again because he's playing what we like.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'd rather, you know, you could win a room by playing the most popular song, but, like, if you can win, like, a person that's going to, like, that's how you do it, I think.
Yeah.
I'd rather get, like, 5 people that are really going to dig it and, like, keep invested and follow it than make 80 people happy.
Right.
for 3 minutes and then get, some $1 bills and stuff.
Right. I think that's a good philosophy when you're trying to build an audience, is like coming at it from that perspective of that's what you're there to do. And like in your specific case, is like, I'm here to build like a following.
Yeah.
And
I also see it too as an opportunity, like when people get little video clips of you singing a song or something, like sharing out on social media. Like if I'm singing like a Luke Bryan song, like he's never going to see that.
Right.
Like if I tag him in a video of me singing, like, he's never going to see that song.
Right.
But people that I like that, are touring around, like they're successful and maybe they have, I don't know, 30,000 Instagram followers. Like it's not every day that they're seeing somebody covering their song because it's new to them.
Yeah.
So like they're more inclined to be like, this dude's sharing my music, and then they share it. Like I've got a lot of, following just off of smaller artists.
Yeah.
Like just resharing videos of me covering their stuff.
That's clever.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta target the people that are going to pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sing Billie Jean, and like a lot of people go, "Hey, man, that was really cool." But Michael Jackson, I mean, well,
right.
Obviously, he's not. But if he were alive, still wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah. You would never see it.
You'd never see it.
Yeah.
And even if he did, he'd be like, "Okay,
cool.
50 million people just sent me the same video."
Yeah.
Like, but if it's somebody that doesn't see that very often, like if somebody covered one of my songs, I'd be like, "Heck yeah, dude."
Yeah.
I'd probably hit him up and be like, "Thanks, man."
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Let's jam.
Dude, that's a great technique right there.
I like to think so.
Yeah, that's clever. That's clever.
Yeah.
It's a good move. Man, I think you're going to be real successful in this business.
Well, man, thanks. I hope so.
Yeah.
It'd be real cool. We are currently operating at a loss, as all new businesses do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun trying to do music full time.
Yeah, man. When I play live, we got the tip bucket, and when I play with like my band and stuff, I lie all the time. Like it's bad. Like I'll tell him, like my drummer be like, "Hey, this is my drummer. He's got 7 kids. They're all vegans. The youngest one, he's allergic to the breast milk, so they got to buy Similac. So as you know, he's broke. So if he ain't gonna do it for the music, do it for the kids. Like here's the tip bucket, please.
I like it.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, whatever. Like, it's a grind, man. It's a hustle. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you gotta lie. That's business. Yeah, man. I like to make the lies so egregious that hopefully people know it's not true.
Right. No, it's fun though because it adds like another element to the show.
Yeah.
That's just like showmanship.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's a guy. Man, I'll talk to you later about him. Well, Nathan Leinert, like he's a local dude, really, really good songwriter out of Williamsburg. And like if you ever get a chance to see him, I mean his set it might be 40% talking, but that 40% is really good.
Wow.
I mean he's telling you, man, and he also doesn't care either, I don't think, man. He's like in a room, he's like, I'm in this room and you haven't left yet, so I'm going to tell you what I want to.
There you go.
And make you love me or not. Like no, I love it.
It's a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and do one last song. We're going to wrap this thing up here. I just want to give a quick shout out and say thank you to everybody that is tuned in, who's stuck around, and for anybody that's watching the video after the fact. You guys are awesome. If you like what we're doing over here at LK Entertainment, the best way that you can support it is to like and share these videos, or go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, LK Entertainment. You can also find us on Facebook. This week we have Cody Christian. He's got, you can find him on Facebook at Cody Christian Music. You can find him on Instagram at Cody Christian Music, and you can find him on YouTube as well. He's got an album in the works that will be announced on his social media platforms when it's ready. So keep an eye out for that if you want to pick up a copy of his album. I imagine, just from what I've heard tonight, that it's going to be pretty spectacular. So I'm looking forward to picking up a copy my own self. So there you go.
Right on, man. Well, thanks so much for having me, Paul. This is super cool. Great platform that you give people, man. It means a lot, I
appreciate that. Thank you.
To people out there doing it, man. I mean, it's if I wasn't here tonight, I would be doing nothing. So, and that's not to say that you're only better than doing nothing. But, nah, for real, man. I appreciate it. Like what you do. I mean, it's important to the. Yeah, I mean, it's important to the musicians. It's important to the whole area. doing music. Like,
Well,
it's a good thing, man.
thank you. Yeah, it's been a blessing. The reception, like when I first started doing this, I had no idea how it was going to go, or if anybody would be interested, or if people would just be like, no. But luckily I've had amazing guests such as yourself that are willing to, take some time out of your day to come here to the studio and sit down and play some music and talk to me. So that's great, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for being a part of it, man. And I hope that we can get you back. I wasn't aware before the show that you had a full band. So if you ever want to do that here, we can make that happen.
I'll tell the boys.
Yeah, there's a way to facilitate that, even though it's a little bit tight in this space. But
we can do some cool stuff.
yeah,
Man.
we've made it work.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Well, I reckon I'll end it on this song called Wife and Kids. It's one of the more popular ones according to my music stream numbers. Also played at somebody's wedding. Nick and Dina, shout out. I'm wearing their band Buckshot shirt here. Another local music, country group dudes. Helped me out a lot. This song's called Wife and Kids, and it's mostly about not wanting either one. But, nothing wrong with a wife or kids. I'm grateful that I am the product of somebody's wife. Anyways, here's the song. She gave me an unfamiliar feeling, but I was too green to know what was going on. I was falling in love. See, I'm a music man, steady dreaming, but those thoughts of doubt start to creep in at her touch. So I turned and run. 'Cause the wise man said, get you dreaming in while you can. Babies don't let you sleep in. Mamas need a loving, children take quality time. But I got a voice inside. Don't swing for the fences if you can't afford to miss. 'Cause you let down the whole team, let down the wife and kids. That's why I don't want to join in these love games. Too many reckless dreams for a heart to get in the way. 5 years of hard Nashville living, the tip jar income won't fix my ceiling, and it's raining and I'm cold and wet. I wish I had me a lover this evening. I'd hold her tight, she'd press me on. Oh, but I'm alone. 'Cause a wise man said, get you dreaming in while you can. Babies don't let you sleep in. Mamas need a loving, children take quality time. But I got a voice inside. Don't swing for the fences if you can't afford to miss. 'Cause you let down the whole team, let down the wife and kids. That's why I don't want to join in these love games. Too many reckless dreams for a heart to get in the way. And if I fail, then I only fail myself. And if I'm broken down in the gutter, I ain't gotta save nobody else. And if you're worried for me, oh
please don't be, 'cause I'm doing fine, finance wine. But a wise man said, get your dreaming in while you can. Babies, don't let you sleep in. Mamas need a loving, children take quality time. But I got a voice that's inside. I think I'll swing for the fences with someone that can take a miss, that'll root for the home team, me and the wife and kids. We'll teach them dreams are things that are always worth the chase. Too many wildest dreams for pride to get in the way.
Cody Christian, thank you for doing the Lockdown live stream. This was awesome to have you here, to be able to hear your music and to get to discuss, you know, some of your background and your philosophy around music. It's been real interesting. It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me, dude. It's real cool.
Absolutely. And again, folks, you can find him, Cody Christian Music, over on Facebook, over on Instagram, on YouTube. He's got music out there that's streaming. He's got an album that's going to be coming out at some point. So keep up to date on that.
Yeah, man. Also got a website. I don't think I mentioned that at all. CodyChristianMusic.com.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
CodyChristianMusic.com.
Yeah, I had to do something official so that I could have like a more official email address.
Right.
Gmail. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I guess it makes me more legit.
There you go. Hey, you know, looking legit is being legit, basically.
That's right.
It's all perception.
Yeah, man. You got to create that image.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, Cody, thank you so much for doing this, man. And for everybody that tuned in and watched this thing live, and for everybody that's checked it out after the fact, you guys rock. Thank you guys so much. We will be back next Sunday with Jarvis Griffin, so that's going to be cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We got
Paper Aliens, right?
I believe so. Yep.
That dude can sing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be real cool. And we're also going to be doing some rebranding and maybe some reformatting of the podcast to try to, I don't know, round out the experience a little bit more. It's been a work in progress over this last year, so we got some exciting new things coming. So I'm looking forward to being able to share that with all of you. So with that said, we'll see you next Sunday, and good night.